All right, my first rain shower here in Phoenix, Arizona. Must be a blessing to the locals here. To me, it's pretty routine, but must be a blessing here. So I'll enjoy the mix of having a little bit of rain here in Phoenix. But I see on the news, recording this in late June, there's a lot of people exiting their jobs, right? They call it the Great Resignation. I like it because it gets a lot of competition out of the way. But what's really funny is watching all the solutions that are being proposed, right? Obviously, at the time of this recording, the pay is not going up because obviously we're in a recession, but at the same time, how do they attract workers? So they got to come up with something else, right? And I was just watching, they keep coming up with this 4-day work week. It's a pet peeve of mine because people want a long weekend. They don't necessarily want to work fewer days in a row, right? Well, what I've always proposed is if you want a 3-day weekend, then just have a 3-day weekend, right? You don't need to shorten the work week in order to do that, right? You can work 5 days and then take 3 days off and have a cycle like that, right? And it never seems to get proposed, though. I can't even find a I can't even Google search any proposals like that. There isn't even a good name for that. That's how silly it is. But you got to ask yourself, what do you really want, right? Another proposal that I've never seen before, and this is one that I would propose, is to the extent possible, have your hours be as flexible as possible, right? Including allowing them to change over time, right? So I first noticed that when I was a kid, I had insomnia, but I realized I really didn't. And the way I realized it was when I was in college, one spring break, I was living in my parents' basement, and I slept very well. I was sleeping tightly every night. I was having enough time to do all the things that I wanted to do. And when I actually hit the pillow, I crashed. There's one caveat, though. I wasn't sleeping every 24 hours. I was sleeping every 26 hours. But I felt perfect. When I hit the pillow, I actually collapsed. And when I had enough time in the day to get enough exercise, you got to remember, I used to be very overweight. And oftentimes I would make the excuse that I had no time for exercise. Well, that week I had extra time to exercise. I had enough time to sleep, right? And I actually woke up refreshed. And I wonder how many people actually have insomnia and how many people are just on the wrong planet, right? They would do perfectly okay on a planet that where days are 26 hours. Well, we have the technology to have a 26-hour day, right? We have artificial lighting. Why don't we make use of it? And to the extent possible, I want that to be a reality in the new economy. Obviously, there are some jobs where that's just not going to work, but you got some jobs like in hospitality where they're running 24 hours, right, in Las Vegas. I don't see why people can't work on a 26-hour schedule as long as everybody can coordinate their schedules, right? You got people whose bodies are suited for a 26-hour planet, and you got other people whose bodies are suited for a 22-hour planet. You would imagine you can negotiate all that out, right? Unfortunately, we live in an environment that doesn't allow people to freely negotiate, right? People judge each other, especially here in the United States, right? In a lot of other countries, people openly talk, and so they can negotiate things like without being judged, right? I talk about this in other videos. People judge me for being single a lot, which means that any accommodations that I want to negotiate that revolve around me and my personal life are very difficult to do, right? So my coworkers, they want to have a certain day off because of childcare issues, and I want a certain day off to go look for my future partner. You would imagine in a civilized world we could make that exchange, right? But unfortunately, there's a lot of friction in negotiating stuff like that in the climate that we live in, right? I had hoped that the pandemic would reduce that friction a little bit, right? The we're all in this together mentality, but unfortunately it's only made it worse, right? But my heart really sank when I saw the proposal for the 4-day week, and also it sank for another reason. They were talking about companies wanting to try a 4-day week. You can't really try that stuff, right? If people don't think that they're going to stay on the 4-day week forever, they're not going to make their plans around it. You go to it, you enjoy the new normal of a 4-day week, right? You don't try it, right? The same idea with the 5-day and 3-day weekend that I propose. You jump right into it. You don't try it. Thanks for watching.